ship Horizon fell through the red sky like a burning star. Inside the bridge, alarms screamed. Sparks jumped from broken screens. The floor shook so hard that 2 crew members were thrown from their seats. Captain Elena Ward held the command rail and stared at the enemy planet below. "Engine power?" she asked. 8%, Daniel Cole replied. "And dropping. Enemy ships?" Marcus Kane checked the scanner. His face turned pale. 27, maybe more. The Horizon had crossed enemy space during a rescue mission. Now its engines were damaged, its weapons were dead, and 12 humans were trapped far from home. Elena opened the emergency channel. "This is Captain Ward of the human ship Horizon. We are under attack. Requesting rescue." For 3 seconds, only static answered. Then Galactic Alliance Command replied. "Rescue denied. Enemy strength is too high. Abandon ship if possible." Everyone on the bridge went silent. They had been left to die. The enemy commander, General Varric, heard the message. He smiled inside his warship. "Do not destroy them," he ordered. "Capture them alive. The galaxy will watch humans beg." The Horizon crashed into a dark forest and tore through trees before stopping. Smoke filled the ship. Several crew members were hurt, but all 12 were alive. Outside, enemy soldiers moved toward the wreck. Elena stood, blood running from a cut above her eye. "How much food?" she asked. 2 days, Sarah Lynn answered. "Weapons? 6 rifles. Low power." Marcus looked at her. "What do we do?" Elena studied the forest and lights moving closer. Then she smiled. "We stopped thinking like survivors." That night, the enemy patrol entered the forest. Minutes later, every soldier vanished. General Varric received one message on a stolen channel. "You wanted the humans alive," Elena said. "Come and find them." By sunrise, General Varric had sent 300 soldiers into the forest. He expected to find frightened humans hiding near the broken ship. Instead, his patrols found empty ground, cut wires, and signs that vanished between the trees. Captain Elena Ward had already moved the crew deeper into the forest. Daniel Cole carried parts taken from the Horizon. He turned broken power cells into shock traps. Sarah Lynn crushed dark leaves and covered the crew's armor, hiding their heat from enemy scanners. Marcus Kane watched the patrol routes from a high stone ridge. The first enemy squad followed human footprints toward a narrow path. The ground exploded beneath them. It was not a deadly blast. Elena wanted them alive and confused. The shock wave knocked them down, and the humans took their weapons before disappearing again. Hours later, another patrol heard voices near a river. They rushed forward and found only a small speaker tied to a tree. Behind them, Marcus cut their communication line. Varric listened as one patrol after another went silent. 12 humans cannot do this, he shouted, but they were doing it. By night, the crew had food, weapons, and enemy maps. They had also found an old metal door hidden beneath thick roots. Daniel opened it and discovered an abandoned communication station under the forest. "This system connects to every military base on the planet," he said. Elena looked at the dead screens. "Can it reach Earth?" Daniel nodded. "If I can restore the main power." For the first time, the crew felt hope. Then the doors slammed shut. Red lights filled the station. Enemy footsteps came from every tunnel. A cold voice spoke through the speakers. "Captain Ward," General Varric said. "Surrender now or your crew dies here." The red lights flashed as enemy boots moved closer through the tunnels. General Varric believed the humans were trapped. Captain Elena Ward did not answer him. She looked at Daniel Cole and pointed toward the main power box. Daniel understood. He pulled 2 wires free and touched them together. Every light inside the station died. The enemy soldiers entered. They fired into the darkness, but the humans were no longer in the control room. Marcus Kane had found an old service tunnel behind a broken wall. The crew crawled through it while Elena stayed near the entrance. She threw a metal part across the room. The soldiers turned and fired at the sound. Then Elena slipped into the tunnel. Daniel reached a second control panel below the station. He connected a stolen enemy device and smiled screen came alive. "I can control their doors," he whispered. One by one, heavy doors closed across the station. Enemy squads became separated. False orders appeared on their radios, telling them that another unit had betrayed them. Soon, Varric soldiers began shouting at each other. The humans moved fast. They took food, weapons, and military codes from the storage room. Before leaving, Daniel opened a weak channel toward Earth. Elena spoke. "Horizon alive. Enemy weakness found." Wait, the signal lasted only 6 seconds before the system burned out. The crew escaped through a drainage tunnel and reached a hill above the forest. There, Marcus showed Elena a stolen map. A massive object was marked beneath the enemy's main base. Daniel read the file beside it. "World Breaker," he said. "A weapon built to destroy planets." Sarah looked at the target list. Her face turned cold. Earth was first. Far away, deep under the base, the World Breaker's engines began to wake slowly. The enemy base covered half the valley. Tall walls surrounded weapon towers, landing fields, and the underground chamber where the World Breaker waited. Captain Elena Ward studied the stolen map. "We cannot fight the whole army," Sarah Lynn said. Elena looked at the base lights. "We do not need to fight them," she replied. "We only need to make them fight the wrong battle." The crew divided into 3 teams. Marcus Kane led for humans toward the airfield. Daniel Cole took 2 crew members to the power station. Elena and Sarah moved toward the command center. Marcus placed small charges under enemy ships. When the first guard found one, he called for help. Seconds later, 3 ships exploded. The blast was small, but the panic was huge. Enemy pilots ran across the field. Officers shouted different orders. No one knew where the humans were. At the same time, Daniel entered the power station through a cooling tunnel. He connected his device to the main system and turned off half the base. Then he sent a false warning to every soldier. "Human forces have entered from the eastern gate." Thousands of soldiers rushed east. Elena and Sarah entered from the west. The command center was almost empty. They reached the lower level, but a screen suddenly turned on. General Varric appeared. He stood beside one captured human crew member. "Surrender," he said, "or he dies." Elena remained calm. She sent Varric a list of 20 locations inside his base. "What is this?" he asked. "Bombs," Elena answered. Varric ordered an immediate evacuation. The bombs did not exist. While the soldiers fled, Elena's team entered the prison level and rescued their crew member. They reached the World Breaker control room at last. Daniel opened the final door and froze. The launch platform was empty. A warning appeared on the main screen. World Breaker launched. Target, Earth, asterisk asterisk. The World Breaker was already moving toward Earth. Its engines burned like a second sun above the planet. Daniel Cole stared at the control screen. "We cannot stop it from here," he said. "The weapon changes its command code every 5 seconds." Captain Elena Ward looked at the enemy ships outside the base. "Then we need a ship with higher command access." Only one vessel had that power, General Varric's command ship. The crew ran toward the main landing field. Enemy soldiers were returning after learning the bomb warning was false. Red shots crossed the dark air. Marcus Kane covered the team while Elena and Sarah reached the command ship. General Varric stood on the platform with his guards. "You have nowhere left to run," he said. Elena raised her stolen rifle. "We stopped running when you left us to die." The fight was fast. Marcus attacked from the side, while Daniel shut down the platform lights. In the darkness, the humans defeated the guards and forced Varric to drop his weapon. They boarded his ship and launched. Enemy fighters followed them into space. Daniel connected the command system to the World Breaker. Numbers moved across the screen too quickly to read. "The codes keep changing," he said. The ship shook as enemy fire struck its rear engines. Sarah pulled an injured crew member away from a broken wall. Marcus fired at the fighters, destroying one before another took its place. Elena kept the ship close to the weapon. "Daniel, do something." He closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he understood. He did not need to stop the changing code. He only needed to copy it. Daniel linked both systems together. The world breaker slowed. Its engines turned. General Varric watched in horror as the giant weapon faced his own fleet. Elena opened the enemy channel. "Order every ship to surrender," she said. Varric smiled coldly. Then hundreds of enemy weapons locked onto the human command ship. Hundreds of enemy weapons locked onto the stolen command ship. General Varric laughed. "You cannot win," he said. "My fleet will destroy you before the world breaker fires." Captain Elena Ward watched the enemy ships close in. Her crew was tired. The ship was damaged. Daniel Cole could barely keep the world breaker under control. Still, Elena did not surrender. "Hold the weapon steady," she ordered. The enemy fleet prepared to fire. Then space behind them opened. One human warship appeared, then 10, then hundreds. Earth's fleet came out of hyperspace in perfect formation. The enemy officers froze, their scanners filled with human signals from every direction. Daniel smiled weakly. Our message reached them. The 6-second signal had carried more than words. Hidden inside it was the enemy base location, the fleet routes, and Elena's final plan. The human ships surrounded Varric's forces. A voice came through the channel. "Captain Ward, this is Admiral Hayes. We have your back." Varric shouted for his fleet to attack, but his officers hesitated. The world breaker was aimed directly at them, and human guns covered every escape path. Elena gave him one final chance. "Surrender." Varric reached for a hidden weapon. Marcus Kane moved first and knocked it from his hand. Across the enemy fleet, ships began shutting down their weapons. One by one, they surrendered. Daniel stopped the world breaker seconds before it fired. The war was over. Later, the Galactic Alliance welcomed the 12 humans as heroes. The same leaders who had refused to rescue them now stood in silence. They had believed fear would break the crew. They had believed hunger, pain, and isolation would make humans weak. They were wrong. Captain Elena looked at the broken horizon being carried home. The galaxy learned a new rule that day. Never leave humans behind enemy lines. They will not wait for rescue. They will take the enemy's weapons, turn the war around, and rescue themselves.